Hi, I'm Stephane, the games teacher.
I'm Tracy, the gaming maven.
We're two of the co-hosts of To Die For Games, and we also are...
contributors on the Dice Tower. We're on a couple different segments and shows.
Thank you, facetious fam.
Hello. Great, I'm glad to hear. So, again, we're just going to introduce the game a little bit here. We have Manhattan Project Energy Empire. So, if anyone knows the original game, that was more about the atomic race, the idea behind just building simply nuclear bombs in the nuclear war, or the war with nuclear weapons. This one's a little different. You still have nuclear as one of the resources. However, you're also going to be working with green energies, coal energy, hydro-geo, all that stuff, and you're trying to balance that out, get the most points with just having the right amount of balance between, the more polluting type of resources versus the non. And of course, you're building buildings and doing all sorts of stuff.
So the goal, obviously, to score the most points. Different ways to score points. We're not going to do a full teach of this game. We do have a teach video coming in the works. Mm-hmm. Tonight we're just going to do a live playthrough, but feel free to interrupt us if you have any questions in the chat, and we'll be happy to pause the gameplay in order to try and answer your questions.
Yeah, it would be great to hear if you know anything about this game, or if you have any questions about what we're doing while we're doing it. We know this game really, really well. We love this game, which is why we chose it as our first one. And without further ado, I think we're going to kind of start.
So, Tracy, who are you playing tonight?
So, I am Japan. So, we basically get two cards, and one card is your player aid. So, you get to kind of see your player aid on one side. And the other side, I have picked as my actual country, and I'm going to be Japan. So, on the top, I get my starting resources. And the bottom, I'm going to be able to use that as an action to go up the UN track.
And tonight, I'm playing the Soviet Union. Nice. Again, I get different starting resources, so each country has their own. And I start with a coal-producing energy die, a couple of oil, some science, and because I'm the second player, Tracy's going to be our start player, I get one additional gold.
And I got some oil barrels, of course, some plastic, and the thing I like is the plastic cubes are actually plastic cubes. Kind of cool. I have money. And of course, we always start with 3 workers and 2 energy. We'll kind of explain how that works when we do generation type turns. But some people will start with extra workers, which is kind of handy. So without further ado, what we're basically going to do is I'm going to play my first worker out. And I haven't quite figured out my strategy yet, but we're going to maybe try something really early. And I don't have enough money, so I'm going to need more money. So there are different areas of the board. And I'm going to pick 4 money. Now that's going to allow Stephane to also get some money, because when I take more money, it benefits him as well. But I want more money, so you're going to get 2 monies. The commerce area here kind of usually gives you, obviously, like I said, money. This area tends to give you resources and oil. This area tends to be more about buildings, workers.
Cleaning pollution,
stuff like that. The government.
All right, so that is your first action, and I'm going to follow up. So I'm going to take one of my worker tokens, and my first action, I'm going to go and mine some metal. So
nice.
If you can give me a metal token,
your
please.
Little I-beam.
I love the resource tokens in this game. They're very high quality, very well done.
Yeah.
Especially the oil barrels and the metal eye bars.
Yeah, they didn't skimp out on these guys, which was fantastic.
And this is even in the retail copy of the game.
It is. And I like, because it's more tactile. I'm a very tactile type of player, and I like things like that. Mm-hmm. So I like that you went there. I'm going to go there too. Now, this is the tricky part about this game, is when you go to a spot that someone's already gone to, including yourself, you have to actually be physically higher, and you can't really see where you guys are, but I actually have to place an energy under this guy to be able to take the same action that someone else took, because I need to spend more because someone's already taken that action.
If you're familiar with other worker placement games, that's a little bit different than most, in that multiple players can take the same action. It just costs them more of their tokens, more of their resources. I'm going to take some scientific research. Actually, you know what? No, I'm going to clean up some pollution here. So in this action, I spend a science token, and I'm allowed to clean up up to 2. I only have 1, but so it might be a little wasteful action. I'm just kind of illustrate the actions in the game. And now my environment on my player board is clean and free, which might score me more points.
Yes. Yeah, you all start with 1 pollution. Everyone starts with 1 pollution, so I'm just debating. I think I want to, now that I have some money, I want to buy something. So I think I would like to buy something over here that's going to get me more stuff. So I'm going to spend $3 to get this middle guy, and I'll be able to use that building anytime I trigger yellow actions. And I can actually use it right away if I wanted to.
Yep.
However, I don't have... Oh, I do have energy that I can use in that. But you know what? I'm actually going to go here. I'm going to spend my plastic and my 2 coin
to activate your country.
UN track. So this is going to allow me to hopefully get some points at the end of the game. I'm red. I don't usually play red. I just figured it looked good on camera.
So that just earned you 4 points towards the end of game score. All right, good call. I am going to take another action, and in this case, I'd like to trade in 3 coins. I should have done this first if I'd have been thinking, but oh well.
Get an extra worker?
Get an extra worker and generate a pollution. I could have cleaned up that pollution if I'd had it before I took my last action.
Oh, well.
Sometimes I don't play optimally, especially when I'm trying to demonstrate a game. Now, the pollution token I take has to come off of the global impact track. All of these stacks, there's 6 of them, and each stack has 4 tokens in it. And this tells us how fast the game is progressing. Yeah. So whenever an icon tells you to take a pollution token, you always remove it from the global impact track and place it anywhere on your environment board. And I'm going to
on an open spot.
On an open spot. Yeah. So I'm going to pollute the air in my environment here.
And you get a worker?
And I get an additional worker. So I'll take this worker from my supply and add it to my board.
So I have nothing, no energy, no workers, so I'm going to have to generate. So generation has a couple of steps going on. First, I could have claimed an achievement if I had 2 guys. However, I don't have 2 guys, so I can't claim any more achievements. We all start with 1. And they're secret. You can only have a maximum of 5, and each one scores you a maximum of 5 at the end of the game as well. So it's nice and easy to remember. But I don't have 2 guys, or 2 energy, or 2 mixture, so I'm just going to simply generate. So first thing I'm going to do is return all my workers to my player mat. All energy goes back to my general supply, because I actually don't get my energy back. I have no dice. So I'm going to spend this oil barrel. For every oil barrel I spend, I will get... Actually, I'm going to spend both oil barrels. And that allows me 2 temporary brown die. So each of the die matches types of energy. And because I haven't actually bought any yet, or earned any yet, I have to roll these to get any kind of energy. So what I'm going to do is I have a 5 and a 2. Each gives me 2 energy. So I take 2 plus 2 more is 4. And then what I have to do is I have to look at the highest number. They're both going to pollute because brown dice pollute. You kind of see that on your player board here. So I will have to take a pollution from there and put it on my board. I think I want to put it down here into the forest area. And because they're temporary die, they're not the permanent die that you can purchase or earn. So I do not get to keep them.
All right. So you've generated... You're all set for your next turn with more stuff.
I am.
I want another energy die. And so I'm going to place a worker here in the power plant.
They are handy.
And I have 4 options. I can get solar wind, I can get hydro geo, I can get coal or nuclear. Now I already have a coal die because that was one of my starting conditions. And I do have metal that I can trade in. So at this point I could either get a hydro geo die or a coal die. The hydro geo die generates 1 pollution immediately while you're building your hydro geo plant. However, the die itself doesn't generate any pollution when you roll it.
That's correct.
And that costs some metal. The coal has more pollution on the die faces, so it generates more pollution, but none initially. I'm going to go for the hydrogeo, and there's a note here on the board. Each player can only have a maximum of 1 of these die types, the hydrogeo specifically. So if you pass me a blue die,
gotta give me your I-beam, please.
There's my I-beam.
Nice.
And again, I have to generate a pollution. In this case, it's telling me to place it on land or in the forested area. So again, I'll take it from the global impact track and I'll put it here on the forested area of my environment track.
So we're getting soon to a global impact card. Every time one of these spots goes down, we're going to get a global impact card. And the green ones are not so bad. Usually they're beneficial. Those red ones, though, they are not good. So I never look forward to those ones. Now, I think I would like to get some science here. That would be the best place. Yes, I think so. I'm going to get a science token. And I also get to look at now it's coming up soon, and I get to kind of look at it. And you can look at it with me.
I can't see anything. I'm not
It's
allowed.
secret. I'm the only one who's supposed to know. So we'll kind of explain when it comes up. Oh, nice. There we go.
Okay, so back to me. Now, I still have 2 energy tokens left.
That would have come off last time.
Yes, when you generated.
I realized
that's fine. I still have 2 energy tokens left, and if I choose to generate now, then I can take another achievement tile from the face-up display. And so that sounds like a good idea to me. So I'm going to take all of my workers back, and I have 4 of them. All of the energy tokens that I have left, however, go away.
Yep.
I do have 2 dice I can roll. Because I had 2 tokens left before I generated, I can take one of these achievements. And I'm going to grab the Energy Empire achievement. So it says 1 VP per energy die of any type. So what I want to do is get all 5 energy dice spots here on my board filled up.
You do.
So I'm going to put that face down, and hopefully that'll get me some points at the end of the game. And then I proceed to roll the energy dice, as Tracy did a moment ago. And I rolled a 5 on my blue die, which generates no pollution, and a 3 on my black die. So lucky me, I get to choose not to generate any new pollution.
To yourself. Now, pollution will always come off the board, so we'll still take that off.
I do get 4 energy.
Yeah,
and
you rolled
as Tracy just indicated, even though I don't get a pollution in my environment board, we want to progress the game and move the game forward. So I need to remove one of these energy tokens from the game board, and it just goes back to the supply. And now, because we've uncovered this space, we trigger the first global impact card that Tracy's already looked at.
I've already looked at.
I'm going to get to see it. And it says industrialization. So again, first things first, trying to find the right height here. I don't know if you can see that.
So on the top there, you're going to see that is the area we score. So there's sky, there's forest, and then there's water. So you're always going to score one of those sections when a global impact card comes up. Only the ones that have no pollution on them. On the top right, it's going to actually clear the board of a certain area here. So we have our government, our industry, and our commerce market.
In this case, it wants us to wipe the industry area.
All right, so the industry is here, so these go away. So which area scores?
We're scoring for water.
Nice.
So we both get 5 points.
5 points. Early in the game, people tend to get the same amount of points for that first one, but then it starts to change. And then we're going to put out new cards. So new cards will come out.
And then the final step is to read the text at the bottom of the card. And this one says,
I've seen that one before.
Immediately place 1 steel, and if you want to do the honors here, Tracy, on each industry board location.
Nice.
So the market, the mine, oil drilling, chemistry, and then finally the power plant actions.
So whoever goes there first gets to collect that. That's kind of nice. So that's
so
why I said the green ones are much nicer. They're usually beneficial to the player. Although it does talk about...
and places it in... then each player gains 1 pollution token from the supply and places it in their own environment. So.
All right. So I'm going to put in water because we've already scored it. Hopefully water won't come up again next turn.
You know, I'm not to imitate you too much, but that sounds good to me.
We're seriously not normally the type to play it the same way. So
that was my generation action all complete, and it'll be back to you.
All right. So actually you take these back. Those are your dice. I would love to have them, but sadly I do have to earn my own.
They are my dice.
So I think I'm going to... I need workers. I need money first. So the thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to place a worker over here. I'm going to get 2 coins, so that way I don't give you any money. I only need 3. Anytime I take an action in an area, if I have any buildings, because you must play on the board, unlike the Manhattan Project where you don't have to play to the main board, you can also trigger any number of buildings of the same color. So I do
structure cards.
Structure cards. Yeah, structure cards of the same color. And you can, in my case, I have one that allows me to trigger it 2 different times in 2 different turns with either an energy or worker. I'm using an energy, and it will give me another 2 coin.
Look at you making all the money.
I'm making money.
I'm pretty resource poor. All I've got is these 2 oil barrels over here. But hopefully I'll be able to do something with those in a little bit.
You make lots of oil.
So you're done your turn. I'm going to proceed to take mine. And in this case, what I want is to get some science. Now, this space allows me to take a science token and look at the next global impact card, as Tracy did earlier. But I've got another idea, although I need some science first. So let's do exactly that. I'm going to spend 1 energy and 1 worker in order to be able to take that same action. I'll get a science token, please, Tracy, from the supply.
Science token.
And I will look at the next global impact card. And Tracy doesn't look.
I shouldn't look at the screen. I just realized.
All right, so looking at that now, I've got some information that Tracy doesn't.
No, because I have very poor eyes, so I can't see even though I quickly looked at the screen.
So that was my action, and now it's Tracy's turn.
All right. So there's a few things I could do here, but I wanna. Oh, we didn't refill the achievement.
You're right. I apologize. As
soon
as someone takes one, it should refill right away. Do you need to know what those say? Can you read them from there?
Just the one.
This is leading consumers. So tiles with a red arrow, structure buildings cards with a red arrow will score you a point.
Okay. I'm not sure. I think I'm going to. I need some dice.
Okay. Well, you get that medal right away.
Yes, I do actually. Thank you.
And depending on what die you're going to take, you might just spend that medal right away.
No, I think I'm going to get myself a green die. It doesn't get me a lot of energy, but it also doesn't create a lot of pollution. So we like those. And every die you can collect a maximum of 5, and each die that you have at the end of the game is worth 2 points. So nothing else, they definitely give you points in and of themselves, even if they don't get you much to work with.
Absolutely. Okay, so are you activating anything else on your turn?
Actually, I can't because that was in green, and I don't have a plastic, so I cannot activate that. Sadly.
All right, so back to me. I'm going to now, again, duplicate Tracy's action. I swear I'm not imitating her because I want to.
It's okay, you have to spend more energy in order to imitate me.
Exactly. So I'm going to the finance space, and I'm going to take 4 coin and give Tracy 2.
Oh, thank you. So you're taking 4... and 2. Now, we normally would have loved to have been closer on the screen so you can kind of see the detail, but it's a big board and we wanted you to be able to see what we're doing on our player boards because there's actually a lot going on your player board as well as the board itself. So if anyone ever wants to see a particular thing, we can't actually zoom in. We're just going to be doing a lot of clicking when we do that, but hopefully we'll be able to play games that are a little more compact, but we like the big games. So I don't have any workers, so I can't play to the board. Even though I have these 3 energy here. So they're going to go away because I will have to generate. I need more workers, that's for sure. So unlike the original Manhattan Project where each worker has a particular type of role depending on what they look like, these guys are just general workers. So any worker can go anywhere. I don't have any oil. Ooh, this is not going to be a good energy producing round for me. So I get 1 little energy. That's very sad. And because it's a green solar wind die, it doesn't produce it never produces pollution for me. However, 1 will still come off of the board because, well, game progression.
All right. And so now on my turn, I'm going to take another worker action. In this case, I want to start getting some structure cards. So I'm going to spend 2 of my coin to get the first structure card here, which generates 2 coin and 1 science token when it's activated. Now it does take 2 tokens to activate it, and I can use either workers or energy tokens to activate that card. So I'm just going to place that up here. It does cause me to require a pollution on the water space. So I'm going to add another pollution token to the water space from the global impact track. And because I went on green, I could activate that right now if I wanted to, and I think I'm going to for the cost of 2 energy. Because that gets me my 2 coin back, plus I get another science token. So if you can hand me 2 coin and a science token, please, Tracy.
There we go. Those will be yours.
And that is my turn.
All right. I need more workers. This is definitely necessary. So I'm going to play that worker there. Spend my 3 coin to get a worker that I can use right away. However, I do create a pollution. My board is getting a little messy here. I think I'm going to put it, yes, I'm going to put it there in the forest.
Just a little word of warning, we do have some pets in the house, so if you hear some background noises, we may have to mute depending on how loud things get, but hopefully we won't have too many interruptions. All right, so back to me. I have 1 worker left that I can place, and what do I want to do? You know what? I've got too much pollution on my player mat, so I'm going to choose to clean up. And I'm going to spend a science token. Tracy, if you don't mind putting that back in the supply. To remove 2 of these back to the supply. So Tracy, again, I'll hand these to you.
My computer is being a little silly, so I'm using my phone to just monitor our first one. So I think it's going well.
All right, your turn.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to purchase this lovely little super tanker here.
Super tanker. Not what I would call little.
It's little on the board. I'm going to spend a steel because in these... actually, we should have replaced that.
Yes, we should have. Sorry.
But yeah, you can either spend... In this case, you'll spend either coin or signs. This is coin or a steel, and the other one is coin or plastic. So I spent steel. Now, because I did trigger that, I could...
Activate it right away.
Activate it. It's going to require 2. But you know what? It's worth it for me to do because I need that oil barrel for when I go to generate. So I'm going to... Oh, I never got an achievement token. Achievement for... Remember I generated and I still had 3?
So of the 3 that are here?
The one on the bottom right there.
This one?
That one, yes, please.
So you get a point for clean air.
That was from previous generation when I had still 3 energies, just in case people were wondering. It's not actually part of my action right now. So I get an oil and 2 coin. I definitely am money rich, which is great. Fortunately, I need some science tokens to do what I'd like to do. But that's okay. Oh, when I bought that, I needed to pollute on water. So that actually would trigger... I'm actually going to put that there because I might want to know there.
The next global impact card.
It will. So what does it say?
So I'll reveal. It's the atomic age. And we'll bring it up here. So it's going to score for air.
Yes, I'm glad I didn't put anything in there.
So we each get 4 points. So far we're neck and neck on the score track. It's going to clear the industry structures again, please.
Oh wow. I'm glad I bought that when I did.
And as before, it's a similar card. Immediately place 1 science token on each of the government spaces. So we'll need 4 science tokens to put out on the player board, or on the game board, please.
Oh wow. In that area?
4 science tokens.
Oh, there. Okay. 1, 2. Oh, so lots of stuff it's given us.
However, then each player flips over 1 pollution token.
Oh no.
To become nuclear waste, nuclear contamination.
So this isn't good because these nuclear contamination, as beautiful and bright colored as they are, there's these wonderful kind of biohazard type symbols. It does, unfortunately...
They're twice as polluting.
So it takes you 2 cleanup actions, basically 2 of the recycle symbols, to get rid of it. So it actually takes longer to get rid of it.
All right. So that would be it. And that was on your turn or my turn? That was your turn.
That was my turn.
Okay. So now back to me. I have no tokens left, so I have to generate. And I don't have any spares, so I don't get a achievement tile choice. I forgot to flip that up earlier. So the first thing I'm going to do is get all my workers back from the board, which frees up some spaces that Tracy apparently wanted to use.
Only because I have no energy, so I couldn't go into this space.
The energy that I had out here, the energy goes away. That one as well. And then I roll the dice again to generate.
So the idea behind the game is it's a bit, like I said, it's a worker placement. You're placing workers out.
I'll grab a pollution token because the 6 rolled high, so I get to repollute again. But I do get 4 energy.
So the idea is trying to balance, like I said, you're getting some die that are don't produce pollution, some that do, but the ones that produce pollution give you more energy, obviously, because they're giving you more resources. So you kind of got to find that balance. So it's kind of tricky. I've actually seen people win with a completely messy and polluted player board. So
I did pollute, so I pulled another pollution token off of the global impact track, and my turn is done.
And I find this game scales well as well. Now, I guess one thing, I've actually never come across this. I guess I collect that first and I can spend it.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to do that. I'm going to collect it, and I'm going to spend it
right away.
Clean things up. Now I'm going to clean this one up once, and then I'm going to clean up my air.
Sounds good.
Because I like clean air, shockingly.
Clean air, good.
You'd think I'd have an achievement or something that says that.
Okay, so now I've got all my workers back. Were you activating anything else with that? No, you don't have any structure cards?
I do not have any and I don't have any more guys left to be able to trigger for structure cards.
Fair enough. All right, so I'm going to activate, once again, scientific research. There's a method to my madness here. I'm going to take the science token. I'll actually get a second science token from that action.
Very nice.
And I get to look at the next global impact card. Forewarned is forearmed, as they say. So again, Tracy, don't look at the screen.
Don't look, don't look.
Okay, we'll resolve that afterwards. Oh, wow. Okay.
This is one of those games that I was surprised that I was gonna like because I'm gonna be generating. So I take all my guys back.
Sorry, before I finished my turn, I apologize. This is my fault. I wanted to activate this to get 2 coin and another science token. Please.
2 coin, another science token. Here we go. Yeah, I was surprised at how much I enjoyed this game because then
I'm gonna spend. Sorry, I apologize. Not quite done yet. And then I'm going to spend a science token and an oil barrel to move up on the UN track. So I'll join you in the ranks of the 4-point UN nations. Sorry, you were saying.
No, it's okay. Like I said, the theme on this is not normally my type of thing. So I was pleasantly surprised at how much I actually enjoyed this game because, you know, even the Manhattan Project, I for the longest time said, no, I don't want to buy it. It's not really my thing. But I like that one too, but I like this one even more because this does have more of that worker placement resource management feel more than the other one does.
Agreed.
Which is why I like it. So I just spent an oil barrel to get a temporary brown die. I'm going to roll my green one as well.
So you're generating again.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I just did not get enough energy. Oh, that's going to come to me because the 5 is on the brown die, which is the higher number.
More pollution.
Well, this is not good. Not good. I don't want to dirty my air, so we're going to put that there. But I'm going to get 3 energy. Usually I'm pretty energy rich normally with my strategies, but not this game.
All right, I need to get some plastic. So what's one way to do that? I have some money. So I think I'm going to come over here and do that. If I place over here on trade, I can make any number of trades, 2 coins for 1 steel or 1 plastic or 1 science. And I can trade those back and forth as much as I want in one single action. So looking at that, I'm going to take 2 coins, give them to Tracy, and I'm going to ask her to give me a plastic token, please.
I can do that. And this is something we talked about, which, like I said, we did a gameplay overview, and we're going to be doing a review on the Die for Games channel for this game. The plastic are actually plastic cubes. But I know you were really hoping these guys would be actual metal I-beams, or little I-beams, as you can see. They're kind of cool. But they're wood that's been painted. And so I think they're pretty accurate, but you're right, they don't have that metal feel.
The old drums are made of resin, which comes from petroleum, I think.
Yes.
Probably. Most plastics too. So, all right, that was my turn. And
look at all these resources on the board. I think I need to collect me some of these.
We were back to you.
Yes, we are. So I'm not quite sure. I think I would like to go there, but I need to go there first. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to collect this I-beam. Now I take an oil, and unfortunately I need to take an oil derrick, an oil rig, because I only have 1 spot. So there are 4 spots on the left-hand side, 2 in the water and 2 on the land, that you can place either an oil derrick or an oil rig. Now it's going to be a permanent pollution. I can never remove that, but it will get me 3 oil barrels. So I'm kind of happy about that, because those will help me later in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what. Now, do I want to trigger that? No, I don't want to trigger my building that matches the same color. So we're good.
All right. So I'm going to place a worker on the education space in order to train another worker. It's going to cost me 3 money. I will get an additional worker, and I take a pollution token from the global impact track and put it somewhere on my board. I'm going to put it in the air spot. That was a green action. I could activate Healthcare System or Soviet Union, but they're already covered, so I won't be able to activate them until I generate the next time and clear those up.
That's correct. That is correct.
So my turn is done, and it's back to Tracy. Although, sorry, I forgot to take the science token.
Yes, definitely take your science token. So now I need plastic. So I'm going to get all these. Man, I have I-beams galore. I can build a really tall building. So I spend an oil barrel here to get myself 2 plastic, a science token, both of which I've been very poor in this game. But however, I do take a pollution. Oh, that's going to already trigger. Wow. Okay. Where do I want to put this? This is going to matter. I'm going to put it up in the air for now. I have a very, very messy board this game. All right, so that triggered the third green global impact card. So we're going to give that a turn over. You already know what it is, so we'll put everybody...
Flip it up?
Yes, flip it up.
All right, so this says moon landing. Ooh. All right, so it's going to score water.
Well, that's not good for me.
So you get
2.
And I get 4.
You get 4. Nice.
In addition, we're again wiping the industry structures.
Oh my gosh! Wow, that's surprising. None of the other ones have wiped.
We'll refill those.
Yes. It's very unusual. There are more than 3 of each, so they get shuffled and randomly drawn. You don't get to look at them, you just draw them. So it's weird that all 3 of those came out. And
it says, until another global impact card is triggered, players may freely discard science tokens. Oh, look at that. I got 4 science tokens. 1 victory point is gained by the player for each science token discarded. So if I want to get rid of some science tokens, I can get some victory points. I'm going to hold on to a couple of them, but you know what? I'm going to actually discard 2 of them now to get 2 more victory points, please. Nice. Give me a little bit of a jump on the track there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I only have 1, and I really want to keep it. So that is going to stay with me.
All right, so that was the end of your turn, so it's back to me. And I'm going to take...
And that's actually, surprisingly, halfway through the game. So with more players, you have more... It balances out quite well for number of players. This plays well 2, 3, 4, or 5 players. And this actually has a solo aspect to the game. So you could play it based on trying to get to a certain score. But already halfway through the game because we've gone through the first 3 global impact cards.
So I'm going to come up to the government market. I'll collect the science token that was on that space. And I'm going to spend 2 of those science tokens. I had 2 on my board. So I'll spend the one that I just got plus 1 more to get this card over here. It's another green card. It's the Nuclear Agency.
Now you're actually going to take a radioactive nuclear pollution token from the board.
That's right. So I'm going to take one of these. I'm going to flip it upside down. And it needs to go in an air spot. So I'm going to do that now.
So I need to go here because I need to clean some stuff up. So that's why I want to spend my science token to clean up my board a bit here because it's really messy. So I think I'm going to clean the water and the forest up. They're looking pretty dirty. Then I'm going to trigger my UN track, I think. So I'm going to put an energy here, spend a plastic and 2 coin
to move up on the UN track.
On the UN
Red
track,
is at 8 points in the UN track. You're an 8-point country.
Very important, that UN track. I haven't used it to like great advantage sometimes. Like I've never gotten to the leader, but I've actually still won the game, even though I haven't quite gotten to the very end.
Did you want to activate anything else this turn?
I do not, actually.
Okay.
No, we're good.
All right.
We're going to keep it as is.
Okay, so I have 2 tokens left, and I think now is an excellent time to generate. So I'm first going to take all my workers back from the game board. I have 5 of them because I've hired myself 2 additional workers. I'm also going to remove all energy tokens that are in play. They all go back to the supply. You don't get to
5 of your workers.
You don't get to keep any energy tokens when you generate. So you have to remove all of them, even the ones that you didn't use. But because I had 2 tokens left, I'm going to get to take one of these achievement tiles, and I'm going to grab the plastics one. Synthetics Pioneer, 1 victory point per plastic cube. So I want to try and accumulate those. I'll refresh that right away. The new one that came up is Healthy Ocean, so you get a victory point for every clean ocean tile.
That is not going to be me. I have a rig in there.
Unfortunately, rigs can never be removed. So,
they cannot.
Yeah. And so now I need to generate, and I'm going to choose, again, both of my dice. Let's see what they get here. So the 5 generates a pollution token, which I'll have to remove from the game board and put somewhere on my player mat. I'm going to put it in air. And I get 4 energy for my troubles. Here we go.
Nice.
I'll remove and put those back.
So as we continue to kind of do these Twitch sessions, we are going to do some longer games and stuff like that. This is actually surprisingly a fairly short game, despite all the stuff going on. I find
we've also played it a few times, so we're familiar.
We're very familiar with this game. A few times is right. It's on our 10x10 scoreboard, and I think we've played it. I think this might be close to our 10th time now. So it's been a few. All right, I would love to buy a green building here. So I'm going to spend 3 coin to get my containment facility, because now I can basically pay a science to do cleanup without having to go there and possibly spend extra spots if someone else is on it. So I'm going to play that. And each of these buildings give you victory points at the end of the game, and it doesn't pollute that particular building, so I like it. But you get victory points for your buildings at the end of the game, so having buildings isn't a bad thing. Plus, they give you spots that you can trigger. I'm actually going to... Ooh... I'm going to trigger it. I'm going to trigger that. No, I can't. I haven't got any science.
You don't have any science tokens.
Never mind. Just ignore that.
So your turn's done.
My turn is done.
I'm going to activate, and you know what? You've got the right idea. I'm going to take the cleanup action as well. So in my case, I have to spend an energy and cover that with a worker, so that I have one more token there than the last player, or than the player with the most tokens. Mm-hmm. So 2 tokens, and I'm going to spend the science token to get 2 cleanup. I'll give that back to the supply.
Right. Perfect.
And I'm going to take away this, and that can go in the supply. Take away this nuclear waste, nuclear pollution, because I had 2 cleanup icons there. In addition, because it's a green space, I can activate
as many
green structures as I want. Yep.
I call them buildings.
And I can also activate my country as well if I have the resources. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm out of science tokens, but I can get science tokens from these actions. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to do exactly that. I'm going to spend 2 energy here, and an energy and a worker here, and then a worker over here. So that will get me 2 coin.
Wow.
2 science tokens, but you can keep one of them.
Okay.
And I'm going to hand you this oil barrel.
So let me give you the 2 coins.
And the 1 science token.
And
and an I-beam. Yeah, and a metal I-beam.
So what are you spending the oil barrel on?
The oil barrel and 1 science token, which you...
Oh, to go to the UN track. Oh.
To go up with the UN track. So I'll join you in the land of 8-point countries.
All right. Oh,
I already gave you the other one.
All right. Well, again, I'm stuck with energy and no workers. So I'm going to have to generate, and because I still have 2 left, I will get to take one of those over there. Now, what makes the most sense for me? For now, I think I'm going to take the water one, please. So the top one. That's going to get me a point for every water spot that is clean. Unfortunately, it means I'm not going to get the maximum 5 because I have an oil rig.
So we've seen healthy skies, healthy water, and healthy forests.
Yeah. Now I've got 3. Anytime you get 3, or anytime you get 5, you can always get rid of one to get a different one if you find it's going to benefit you better. But I like the one I've got, so I'm going to take all my guys back here, and hopefully I can get more energy this turn. I'm going to have to spend the oil barrel to hopefully. Do I want to spend 2? Yep, I think I might spend 2. Might as well, right? That'll give me 2 of these and this, which will hopefully get me more stuff to work with next round. Nice. So I did roll a 3, 4, and 5, but unfortunately the 5 is on the brown die, so I pollute to my board. And I'm going to go to the forest. I'm hoping that's not a bad thing.
That gets you 5 energy.
5 energy. It's the most I've gotten this game so far.
So the 2 brown dice go back to the supply, and you get to keep your green die.
I like the little guy here in the hazmat suit. He's really... The art on this is absolutely fantastic. It's very similar to the original art, but they've kind of given it a bit of a more modern look. The other one looks a little bit more, kind of 40s, 50s style, kind of Cold War era kind of thing. This one has kind of more modern art, but still has the same feel. So anyone who's played the original game will probably really enjoy this game visually.
Okay, so with my action, I have 2 workers left. Do I want to generate? Let's see.
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do, yes, she says.
Totally
yes, do. Generate, Steph. In fact, you know what? I'm going to generate. That's a good call. So the first thing I do is I can take an achievement tile.
Trigger another global impact card.
I'm going to get Healthy Forests. And we're going to replace that. And this is Steel Empire, so you'll get a point for every steel with that one.
Be very good for me with all of my steel here.
I'm going to retract all of my workers that I've played out. Not that guy, this guy, and this guy. So I have my 5 workers back. I'm going to remove the energy that I've spent. I have no energy left on my player board. So now I'm going to roll some dice. Let's see what we get here. A 6 and a 6. So here's an interesting case. So again, they're both numbers are the high numbers. Normally you would pollute from a high number, but because they're both the same, I can choose to either take the pollution token or to discard from the global impact track the pollution token to the supply. And because I don't want any pollution,
usually you don't. Although there is an achievement that gives you points for polluting.
So there might be a reason why you'd want to do that, but in this case, I don't.
Don't normally.
So I'll give that back to the supply, and I will get 4 energy for that.
And then once you do that, the first red global impact card comes out. And these are never good. These are always really bad.
So we're 2/3 of the way through the game now, and this says Diplomatic Crisis.
Ruh-roh.
Whoa. All right, so first things first, we're going to score for land.
Oh, I only get 2 points. My land is very, very, very polluted.
I get 4.
Nice. Very polluted land here.
Then we're going to clear the government cards, the government structures.
Diplomatic Crisis. Makes sense. I'm just going to put these out of the game just because it'll be easier because I don't have a lot of room here.
Okay.
Lunar Lander, Canal, and...
Environmental Agency.
Yes.
Okay, so the text on this card reads, until another global impact card is triggered, players must use 1 additional energy to place a worker on any board location that is occupied by 1 or more workers belonging to other players.
Kind of like the bodyguard.
Basically, we got to give our guys a bodyguard because otherwise the crowds, pinch our workers. So we don't want that.
You don't normally put 2 workers on. You can't actually normally put 2 workers on a single pile. You can obviously trigger the action twice in 2 different turns.
I forgot to remove that energy token. I apologize. So yes, this makes taking actions that other players have already taken more expensive.
Yeah. With 2 players, it's not so bad. There's more of the board, but sometimes someone will still go to a location you really, really want. So I do not have a blue die yet, so I'm going to spend one of my plethora of I-beams to get a blue die, which will be very good. However, I do pollute my land, which is already looking pretty grim here. My land has 4 out of the 5 on it, so it's not very happy. A lot of smog.
Okay, I'm back to full strength.
Hey, it's not smog. Smog's in the air.
Yes, smog's in the air. All right, I'm going to take a worker, and I would like to get more science. So I'm going to go to clean up, spend my science token.
Oh, I could have done that. No, that's good. Sorry, my apologies.
Spend my science token in order to get 2 cleanup. I'm going to clean up these 2 pollution tokens so they can go back to the supply. And then I can activate any number of green cards that I can afford to do. I'm going to put some energy on here and some energy on there to get 2 science tokens, a steel, and 2 coin.
2 coin.
2 science and 1 steel.
Yeah, it's nice when you can get... Usually I'll go with all of 1 color or only 2 colors. I decided to branch out this time and do a little bit of everything, but not maybe the best way to go.
I've seen different strategies work for different people.
Oh, yeah.
So, so far in our playthroughs, there hasn't really been one strategy that we've seen carry the day consistently.
No, and that's the true, for me, one of the true characteristics of a really well-designed game. It's really well-balanced because I've seen it where the game is really tight within like 4 or 5 score. I've seen the game where someone's has a fairly commanding lead, but the strategy each person has used is different. Some people are higher on the United Nations, some people are higher on various parts of the board. So it's good. I like that you can win different ways. There's no one way to win. However, I'm not quite sure what I want to do, so I'm going to...
Take your time. Hurry up. Take your time. Hurry
up. Yeah, I know. So I'm going to go here and get this I-beam because, I am the I-beam queen. And then I'm going to buy a building. I'm actually going to spend said I-beam for the landfill, and it allows me to spend my I-beams to get cleanup, which is very, very handy for me. And I'm actually going to use it now. So I'm going to use that one, spend one of my I-beams to get a cleanup. I'm going to clean up this poor land of mine. And then I'm going to trigger this one as well.
Super tanker.
Super tanker, because it's a brown building, so I can trigger all my brown buildings. Get an oil barrel and some money, because I'm getting low on the money. And then this replenishes. Thankfully, I'm not doing too bad here. Now, if you might notice, sometimes I've noticed a lot of people score quite high throughout the game, but a lot of the scoring comes at the end of the game with everything you collect and you build. So, and I believe it is. Do I want to do that? Sorry, no. I'm gonna wait.
You're good?
I was gonna maybe trigger my UM track, but we're good.
All right. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna buy and sell oil, and oil price for 3 barrels of oil. You can do this one time per action. So 3 barrels of oil will cost you whichever number still has the leftmost number that still has pollution tokens on that column. So in this case, we've already cleared 1, 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to spend 4 coin. I'm going to spend 4 coin in order to get 3 oil barrels from the supply.
That's pretty good. And it doesn't require you to take an oil rig there.
And then I'm going to activate my country card, the Soviet Union, which wants me to spend a science and an oil barrel to move up 1 on the UN track. Oh. And I'm now a 12-point country. Ooh.
Yes, you are. Well, okay. I need to get some science. Get me some science.
She blinded me with science.
So I'm going to go here. I'm going to buy myself a green building. I think I'm going to get the... both the environmental agency and the lunar landing look good, but I don't think I can't afford the environmental agency. So I have to get the lunar landing because I only have 3 coin. I don't have 4. So
you could get the canal.
I could, but I really want these science tokens.
Fair enough.
The science tokens are where it's at for me right now.
Okay.
So that cost me 3. I'm going to move them down. I think I might trigger some stuff, though.
Okay. So you can trigger those green cards if you want to.
Trigger this green card first.
Gets you either a science or a victory point.
I'm going to take the science, but then I'm going to spend the science to get to cleanup.
You need to activate the cleanup card.
Oh, my apologies. Yes, you're right.
But yes, you can absolutely do that.
But I'm going to clean up my air, because that's very important for me. And my land.
Breathing important.
I thought so. So I am now done.
Okay.
Oh. No, I can't. I don't have enough coin to trigger UN. I spent my money.
Oh, your UN costs 2 coin and a plastic.
Yes.
Okay, so let's see here. My turn. I have 2 workers left. But I think I'm going to generate.
Not a bad plan.
I have 2 tokens left, which means I get to take one of these. Now, because I have 4 achievement tiles, I can only take 1 more.
Well, you can take 1 more after that, but you'd have to get rid of 1.
Discard 1.
Yeah.
You can never have more than 5.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take the Steel Empire.
And again, kudos to the designers who did this, because they thought of everything. Especially even the rules are really well written. They're easy to understand, given how much is going on in this game. This even tells you can have a maximum of 5, and each one shows you can have a maximum of 5 victory points. It shows right on it. So everything tells you exactly what you're going to get. So you don't even really need the rulebook once you know the rules. But the rulebook is also very, very good, because we know who wrote it, and he's a great guy.
Josh Capel.
Josh Capel.
Thank you.
Yes, he wrote a very good rulebook, that's for sure.
I'm going to take back my workers, and then remove all of the energy that I spent. And then I'm going to roll my 2 energy dice to see if I pollute or not. In this case, I rolled a 3 as the high one. The other one is a 1, so the 3 doesn't have a pollution token on it.
However, it will pollute to...
I will remove a pollution token to the general supply, and I will get 3 energy. All right. And with that, my turn is done.
Yes. So sadly, I can't get another die because I am there. That is not good, but that is okay. I am honestly not sure where I want to go. So I think I'm going to spend an oil barrel to get myself 2 plastic, 1 science token, and unfortunately a pollution. I'm going to put in the water. We're going to see how that goes. And that is my turn.
All right. I'm going to do something a little different. I'm going to come here and get this metal token, steel token, for picking up the mine action. I'm going to get another one from the supply because I'm taking the mine action.
Nice.
That gives me 2 additional
That's how long that
steel.
lasted there. Stayed there for a while.
Yeah, no one was going there, so I figured maybe I'll take it before Tracy does.
I'm no longer the I-beam queen.
Yes.
I only have 1.
Well, I did just pick up the Steel Empire achievement.
Don't tell me that. I did see a picture.
I did see that earlier. And now I could activate any brown buildings, except I have none. But I can activate the country card, Soviet Union. So that allows me to spend a science and an oil barrel back to the supply. It's going to cost me an energy or worker to do that. And I get to move up 1 more on the UN track. I am now a 15-point country.
Mm-hmm. You're getting up there. Done. So I have nothing, no workers, no energy or anything. So I must generate. And these all go back to the supply. And I have no oil barrel, so I can only roll the dice I have. So I rolled a 3 and a 1, which gets me a total of 3 energy, 2 from my blue and 1 from my green. Because they're both very environmentally friendly die, I don't pollute my board. I do take it off there, which sadly means another red global impact card is going to these are never good.
We're
never.
5/6 of the way through the game now. So this says nuclear fallout.
There's a lot of small text there. I know it's a little hard to read.
I'll read it out loud. So nuclear fallout. The first thing we're going to do is score 4 forests or land spaces.
3
and I get 4.
4.
And then we need to clear the commerce market.
Good, because I'm going to put them out of the game.
Sure. That's fine.
Not a lot of room here. It's got a lot of stuff.
Yeah, this game does come with a lot of components.
Which, if you've ever seen any of our videos on our channel or our blooper reel, actually there's one, that little hidden Easter egg. I love components.
Components!
I'm totally components girl.
All right. And then the text says, beginning with the active player, each player takes 1 nuclear contamination token from the supply and places it on a different board location.
Okay, yes.
When any player later places a worker in a location with a token, they must place that token into their own environment. So we get to choose what locations, what board actions we think other people want to take.
Did I trigger that? No, you triggered that. No, you triggered that.
That was, you triggered that.
I did trigger that because I generated.
Yep.
Yes. So I'm going to play it there because that's just mean.
Yeah, cost you nuclear waste to clean up.
So you always get to spend to clean that.
And you have a card that allows you to clean up so you can bypass that space. You're not very nice.
What do you mean?
You're not very nice. What do you want to do? Let's
your
see
board's
what you
super
want to
clean.
do.
You're fine.
You're looking to get some money, I think. So you know what?
Yeah.
There you go. You can go over there and get your money. Although you can action to get money with other things.
I can. It's more expensive though for me to do that.
We're going to do that and see how that plays out for us. All right, so next we want to, I'm going to take an action, and I'm going to do chemistry. What chemistry does allows me to trade an oil barrel in for 2 plastic, a science, and a pollution. So I'll give you the oil barrel. If you can give me 2 plastic and a science token, please. And I will take the pollution from the global impact track. The pollution token I'm going to put in air. And I will gather these. Now that was a brown action. I have no brown structure cards, so I will not be able to activate any of my structures. Tracy's turn.
Yes. Yes, it is. Well. I can't have more than one green die. So I think I'm going to go there. I'm going to spend a plastic and a science to get a second green die.
Look at you with the dice collection.
Well, my board over here is messy, so I'm trying to keep clean energy die.
Fair enough.
Dice. To properly balance it all out.
It's good to point out, as we activate these cards, they all carry until, in this case it says, until another global impact card, until another global impact card. So these cards are no longer in effect.
No.
We're only really dealing with the results of this card. So,
in case people are curious.
Yeah. All right, so my turn. I know what I think I want to do. It's going to be expensive, but I don't really have a choice. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pick this up, but I'm going to get rid of it right away because I'm going to spend the science token that I have to do that. But that allows me to activate these two tiles and get two science, 2 coin, and a steel.
Nice. You've got a good generation machine going there.
And that would be my turn. It's back to you.
Yeah. I do need money. But I don't really want to... Oh, you did make that expensive for me.
I'm sorry. Not really sorry.
Not really sorry.
Really not sorry.
Okay. So those both are not good. Oh. You made it really difficult for me because I would like to trigger that, but I can't.
Here we have an example of AP, what we in board gaming
I
terms
almost
call
never suffer from
analysis
AP,
paralysis.
but I'm really stuck. I'm honestly not sure what I should do because I need money. I just need one monies. One single money.
Well, you could go there and take a nuclear pollution to do it.
I could. That would be very painful. Sorry, I'm just going to go. Okay.
You could trade a plastic or a steel for 2 coin.
I could. I need the plastic, but 1 plastic I could spend. I can spend 1 plastic. So I'm going to trade. I've actually never used that action before. So I'm going to trade a plastic for 2 coin.
Okay. Do you want to do any other trades while you're there? Because you can trade as many times as you wish.
I could. The I-beams are easier for me to get. No, they're not. So I'm going to hold on to that. No, that's the only thing I'm going to do. However, I'm in yellow, and I don't want to trigger that. I want to trigger... I want to do my UN track. That's what it was. So I want to spend that plastic and 2 of those coins that I just earned. Place my little energy token there. And move up the UN track, because I don't want you to get too far ahead of me.
Must get further ahead.
And that is going to be everything I do this turn.
All right, so once again, I have no workers or any energy tokens left on my player mat, which means I have no choice but to generate.
Generate, and we're getting very close to the end of the game here.
Yes. All right, so first step of generate, because I don't have any tokens, I cannot take an achievement tile, and by the way, I already had 5 anyway.
You could take one, but
I could take another one, but I can't because I don't have any extra tokens left. So I'm going to go ahead and remove my workers from the board. And remove my workers from my structure cards. And remove my energy from my structure and my country card. And then I'm going to roll the dice. Let's see what we get. 2 5s. All right, so there was a 5 blue and a 5 black. So I'm going to choose not to pollute and put that pollution token back in the general supply. I will take my dice back and get 4 energy. And my turn is done.
All right. I think I have a plan.
Uh-oh.
I know.
Uh-oh.
Sometimes I get those.
Uh-oh.
So that's going to allow me to get a science, and I get to look at that last global impact card. Mind you, I only have a few turns here before I can do any effects.
I won't look.
It's actually, I think, the worst one, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, don't
oh, no. This one isn't as bad as some.
Okay, I'm looking again.
No, one of these is actually like really horrible, and it's really bad when it's the last one. But it's not the one I was thinking it was, which is good. Still not great, but not bad. Okay, so I went there. I do want to trigger my other green buildings here. And I'm first going to go here and get another science token. Mm-hmm. But then I'm going to go here and spend said science token to do some cleanup
actions.
I didn't actually remember what that was, but that's okay. I'm going to do that.
Remember what was?
Which one it was scoring.
Have a look. It's fine. You just looked at it. So.
No, okay, we're good. That's good. Good the way it is.
Because knowing that will tell you which pollution tokens you want to take away
That's
from your player mat.
And that is all of my turn.
Okay, so I'm going to do some work.
So we're getting close to the end of the game.
We are getting close to the end of the game.
Once someone takes that last one, we trigger the global impact card. Each player will get one more turn, including that player. I know that's kind of a sticking point with some people. So some people don't like when a game does that. When you
an even number of turns.
Which doesn't bother me if it's the right kind of game. I find this game doesn't suffer from unbalanced turns.
Yeah.
Some games I do find suffer from it, but this one's actually pretty good. I don't find it is a detriment.
So I'm coming to clean up. I'm going to spend the science token to clean up 2 spaces. I'm going to remove these 2 pollution tokens. Nice. I'm then going to activate my 2 green structures for all of this. That gets me 2 coin, 2 science, and a steel, please.
Wow.
My little engine is working for me here.
Now, these aren't usually worth anything at the end of the game, but they are good for tiebreakers. So.
2 science.
Oh, my apologies.
Thank you. And then...
And in good Canadian fashion, I apologize.
There you go. I could activate my country card, but I don't have any oil barrels, so I'm out of luck there, and I'm going to have to wait for another turn to do that. My turn is
as
done.
Your opponent, I don't feel that bad.
You don't feel so bad for me. I understand.
All right. So I don't have an energy, so I can't go there. My own guy keeps blocking me. This is not good. Oh, makes me sad.
Choose another action.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So I'm going to come here. I'm going to get this guy by spending a science token instead of the coin.
This will slide over. We'll refill 1 green card from the deck.
Fortunately, I don't have any more guys, so I can't trigger it. My apologies.
No, that's...
Excuse me.
Bless you.
Whew. All right, and that is my turn.
All right. I have... government worker. Can I do something with that? I could go over there and spend 5 coin. All my coin.
All your coin.
All my coin.
Because it's going to cost 5 right now.
To get 3 oil barrels, please, because we're at the 5 spot of the global impact track. So that'll give me 3 oil barrels, which I'm going to use some of right away. To spend...
To go up on the UN track.
And the UN track.
Now he's hit the last spot.
So the last spot has a circle in it, which means only 1 round token, only 1 player token can move into that space. So necessarily the most Tracy can get out of the UN track is these 15 points. I am now a 17-point country. And because I've cinched the lead, being the only player that can make it to that spot, I'll also get a bonus 3 points for a total of 20 UN points at the end of the game.
It's surprising how many people use the UN track. I always find everyone tries to get right to the end, but it's really only a maximum of 5 points difference between the leader and the next spot down.
It's not strictly necessary to clinch a win. I've seen people win with being at the last spot on the UN track.
I actually did. I was actually at the lowest spot and I won.
Yeah.
Once.
So, but it is a 20-point total out of your points. So it's
doing it not at all when everyone else is doing it is definitely not good. But sure. I know a couple people have asked if you need to be the one who gets to the top of that.
I did forget to place my worker on the space.
So I'm generating, but I find with that is that a lot of people say that you need to be on the UN track to win. And I'm like, I've actually not found that to be very true. So now I don't have any oil barrels. I would want to spend any anyway because I'm trying to not generate too much pollution on my board here. So a 4, a 3, and a 3. They're all clean energy. So I'm going to get 4 energy tokens for my trebles. But one of those guys is going to come off, and that leaves only one single token left. So once that's taken, it will trigger the last round, which is perfect now that I have guys.
It's going to be real soon, too.
Yes.
Because I only have a couple of workers left. So if you don't do it soon, I'm going to be doing it probably next turn.
And the trick is, you might want to generate early when it's coming close to this. And it kind of is not great when you want to generate early. But you don't want to be stuck with nothing that last round. I've seen it, and it's not good.
Now, I would really like to be able to take this cleanup action to trade in a science token and clean up some pollution from my board. But I don't have any energy tokens. I only have worker tokens. And I can't stack 2 worker tokens like this.
No, that was last.
To take the action. This is gone.
Plus
I would need a worker and an energy token to do that. So I'm not able to take that action, unfortunately. I can take other actions. Is there anything else that will get me? Nothing else gets me a cleanup. So I really don't have
the only thing here.
Much choice here. The only thing I can do that makes any sense, because it will get me some points for the end of the game, is to grab a coal for this steel. So I'll trade in a steel, and I'll get a black coal energy die.
Yeah, so it's very worth it. I was actually thinking that myself.
Because I have a lot of steel, so I've got some to spare.
Yes, I was actually, again, not to mirror you, but I spend my energy, because again, I need to be higher than he is. I'm actually going to spend my steel to get a black energy die too, because, more dice are good.
More dice good.
Now, that was the industry area. I do have some brown buildings here. No, I do not want to trigger either of those right now. We're good.
All right, so you're done your turn?
I am.
I am going to use my last worker here to take the chemistry action, where I can trade an oil barrel in for 2 plastic cubes, a science token, and I will take the last pollution token off the global impact track.
You didn't. Oh, I was hoping you'd do it next turn.
2 plastic cubes and the science token, please.
That makes me very sad. I was hoping for 2 turns instead of just 1.
So I'm going to place that in air.
All right, that changes what I'm going to do.
Equally polluting across the board.
Well, that...
so the global impact card resolves immediately.
It does. Let's do that first.
And this says... Market crash. So market crash will have a score for water. I get 4 points.
And I get 3.
We will wipe the commerce market. And it says, until another global impact card is triggered, this is the last one that will be triggered, so it'll be in effect until the end of the game, which isn't far now. So players must pay $1 extra to buy any structure, even when paying with steel, plastic, or science. So it increases the cost of buying any of these structure cards that are out on the table by $1.
Oh, that really hurt. I was hoping to get one more turn. But that's alright. Let's see, what can I do with this last turn? I will need to do that. So, I could do it that way. Okay, let's do that. So I'm going to go here and get an ivy, a little steel. Because that is brown, I can trigger the brown spot. So I'm going to do that to do a cleanup. And I'm going to clean up my land.
You have a very clean environment.
Yes, it's probably the cleanest it's ever been. And I just can't do it. I was hoping to get a plastic, but I realized I can't get a plastic.
Not in this turn.
To be able to go up the UN track. So it doesn't hurt to use the guys, because really they're not going to do any good here on the board. So I might as well get an oil and 2 coin just in case it might help me with something.
Some of your achievements, maybe?
Yeah, I probably should look at those, eh? Oh, I should have cleaned the other one. Oh, well.
Go ahead.
Do you mind?
No, it's
I'm going to mulligan.
Take a mulligan.
I will have cleaned my water instead of my land.
because you get bonus for clean, healthy oceans.
No reason whatsoever.
No reason whatsoever. All right. And I get a final action as well.
You do, because you triggered the
However, I have no workers left, so my final action will have to be to generate.
Yes.
However, I can tell you that I don't get any value from generating, so I'm just going to not bother.
So you triggered? You triggered. That's funny.
Because generating will just take all my tokens back. It won't actually give me any extra resources. It would give me some energy, but I won't be able to use any of it. And none of my achievements are dependent on that. So I'm just going to skip my final turn.
All right.
And we can go right into final scoring.
All right. So first thing, I like to bring up the rulebook just to make sure I never miss anything. It's always good to have. I know what to score, but I always like to score it in order. I'm a little bit funny that way. So the first thing we're going to score for our own strip. We can just take all this stuff off because it was spent. And because there is one that gives you, if you had the achievement for energy, you would have wanted to generate at the end.
Correct.
There is actually a achievement that allows you a victory point for every energy that you actually still have on your board.
Yes.
All right, so first we're going to score for our structures. So my structures get me a total of 12, 15, 16, 17 points.
Very nice.
5, 10, 15, 17.
I only get 9.
That's not bad. So 27 to 36. Look at that. We're tied presently.
Neck and neck.
Then we're going to gain 2 points for every energy die we have on our mat. I have 4 of them, so each one gets me 2 for a total of 8.
And I have 3, which gets me 6. I'll score the rest of the track around here.
Yes, I'm a little short.
That's fine. Next.
The United Nations track. So this is where you really jump up.
Okay, so Tracy gets 12, so 44 goes to 56. And yellow gets 17, plus because yellow is the leader, I will get a bonus 3 for a total of 20 points, which goes from 42 to 62.
Not bad. All right. Now we'll reveal achievements. So I have award winning, which gets me a victory point for achievement I hold, including this one. So I get 3 for that one. Plus I get a victory point for my clean air, so another 5, because all of them are clean.
3 and then another 5.
And then healthy ocean. I could have gotten the healthy land and we would have been all set. This one gets me 4 points because one of the spots is permanently polluted due to the oil rig.
Okay, so those are scored. Yeah. Next, I'm going to do the same thing. My achievements are wealth. 1 victory point for every 2 coin, $2. Oh. I didn't have any money, so that one doesn't score me anything. I scored
pretty good on that one last turn.
Energy Empire gives me 1 victory point per energy die of any type, so I get 3 points for that. Synthetics Pioneer, 1 victory point per plastic cube. I have 5, so I get 5 points.
You're hoarding.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And another 5.
Over here, I get Healthy Forests, which gets me 1 per clean forest. So I get 4 more points. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So we're actually playing a bit of a hopscotch here.
And finally, Steel Empire, which gets me 5 points because it's 1 per steel that I have, and I have 5. So I get up to 79. And there's still one thing left to score.
There is, although it's not going to be enough for me, I know. So we're going to score our environment. You get 1 victory point for every spot that doesn't have a pollution on it, whether an oil rig, an oil derrick, or a pollution token. So I would get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Plus, this column gets me 1 point for being completely clear. This one gets me 2, and this one gets me 3. So I get another 6 points.
So 19 total points.
19 total points. However,
from 68 gets you to 87.
You are going to edge me out a little bit.
And here I have 12 points, plus because these 3 are clear, another 6. So that's 18 points. From 79 gets me to 97.
So the final score is 97 for yellow, or Stephane, and 87. So it's a 10-point difference, which actually isn't as bad as I thought it would be. I pretty certain thought you were going to edge me out there. So
there we have it. That was our Manhattan Project Energy Empire playthrough. We're going to...
We're going to talk a little bit about our thoughts on the game. We played it a lot, so you probably guessed that we like it, but we're going to keep you in suspense. Maybe we actually don't really like it. We just like to play games we hate a lot.
I really like this game.
So obviously we both really enjoy this game. Like I said from earlier on, that I didn't think the theme was going to appeal to me, and theme is is fairly important for me. I can usually gloss over like a pasted on theme, but this game is actually pretty thematic because you do have to place stuff onto your environment. You have to manage the various resources, and certain resources are very authentically requiring other resources to need it. So I find this is pretty accurate with what areas give you certain things and what areas give you other things, and how you use them is very important. So I find it's very thematic. So I didn't think I was going to like it for that, but I still like it. It doesn't bother me at all.
I like the game for its theme, obviously, but also for its mechanics and the flexibility in different ways to play, and also the balance that appears to have gone into the playtesting of this game. Because, like I said, we've played it several times now. I've tried different strategies every time. I'm not always doing the same strategy, and sometimes I do very well, and other times I don't do so well. So I haven't found one strategy really carries the day. So I really like the variability in the gameplay and the ability to take multiple paths to victory.
Very much so. And the other thing I like too, and I lost the thought in my brain, you were kind of talking about balance, variability.
Playtesting, balance.
Oh, I lost it.
Take a second.
That's okay. Like I said, I find, I've tried different things too in this game, and no one thing has got, I usually score, fairly high up, and I've won some, I've lost some, and I've tried different things. I always like to try different ways in this game, using more structures or buying more dice or having almost no dice. The one thing I do find in this game is having less dice does hamstring you a little bit. It can deter you from being able to get enough energy to do what you need to do, because I only had one die there for a while and two, and they weren't getting me enough. So, and the other times where I've had dice that have been giving me more energy, you really want that, because even though you can't spend energy here by itself on the board, you sometimes need it, and then to trigger all your other buildings, you can use your energy to do that. So it's really, those are very useful. So that's something I would say is probably the hardest thing in this game, is if you don't get these, you'll find yourself not doing quite as well. But as a person whose favorite mechanic is worker placement and resource management, this game has a solid base of that. It really is pretty good across the board.
I really like the amount of game you get in the time. Like, our gameplay for 2 players was just around an hour, maybe a little over an hour. Yeah. It doesn't actually, there's not a lot of downtime between players, assuming everyone knows how to play.
Yeah.
When you're first learning the game, obviously you'll expect a bit more downtime.
Yeah.
Even with 4 players, you can knock off a game and the game plays up to 5 actually. So.
It does, and I haven't played it at 5, but I taught some people who were playing it at a 5-player count. And it still plays really, really well. Like, it scales. That's what it was. I wanted to remember was it scales really well. I've never played this solo, but from 2 to 5, it scales absolutely fantastically. And like you said, it's not a lot of downtime. There's some, but because you're basically just placing stuff, and a lot of this doesn't necessarily affect people. You could, in theory, do this while the next player starts to take their turn, because this is the only thing that really, truly affects them immediately. Everything else kind of affects end game. Some people like to wait and see what you're going to do. But yeah, I think we're probably going to wear this game out. This is going to be one of those few games that we're going to actually wear out the parts before. But because they're so well done, it'll take a while.
I mean, we've only had it in our collection for just under 2 months now.
About that, and we've already played, I'd have to say, at least 10 or 11 times. Easily close to a dozen times now.
It's one of our top contenders for the last couple of months.
For sure. So I hope you enjoyed our playthrough of the game. Again, we're going to be coming back next week. We haven't quite figured out that yet, but look for our announcement on Twitter. I'm going to announce it on Twitter and Instagram and the Facebook. So if you're not already following us there, check them out if you'd like to know what we're doing, what kind of board games we're playing, taking pictures of games. Thank you very much, Chris, our official ex-NOS. Appreciate it so much. I'm glad everything went well. And this is coming from my nephew, who isn't a board gamer, but we're slowly converting him. We're going to convert you.
So, again, thanks for watching. And, this is our first one. We had some technical issues. Hopefully we've got those ironed out. So next time it'll be a smoother experience to get started. But you'll be seeing this video. We're going to do some basic editing to it and get it up on YouTube as soon as possible.
Yeah.
I hope sometime tomorrow, possibly Friday. But we'll hope to get it up on YouTube as soon as possible on the To Die For Games channel.
Yes, on the To Die For Games channel you can find us. And we're going to do it. So if anyone who was maybe you heard them talking about this game and they want to know about it, they wanted to see a playthrough, it'll be available for people to watch up there. Hopefully within the next day or two we'll have it up.
And then we'll link it on Board Game Geek as well.
So next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be bringing out another game. We'll probably announce tomorrow or Friday. We'll be announcing what game we're going to be doing on social media so people are aware. So let all your friends know. Hopefully you enjoyed, and you'll be seeing us next week. So until then, bye for now.
Bye.